Hello, I'm Lani, a lawyer, entrepreneur, and mum of two living in the UK. I'm a second generation Filipina, and today we're diving into something really interesting. Just how many Filipinos live in the United Kingdom right now? According to the latest census and government data, there are around 165,000 people who were born in the Philippines now living in the UK. But that's just those born there. When you include the second generation, kids born here to Filipino parents like me and my husband, and people of Filipino heritage like my kids, who are now third generation Filipinos living in the UK, the total number is closer to 250,000 to maybe even 320,000 Filipinos living across the UK today. That's about the population of a small city. So, where are most of these Filipinos living? No surprise, London is home to the largest Filipino community. From nurses and carers to teachers, engineers, and creatives, you'll find Filipinos pretty much everywhere in the capital. Then we've got Southeast England, the West Midlands, and Northwest England as other big hubs. And if we zoom out across the UK, England and Wales together have about 162,000 people who identify as Filipinos. Scotland had around 4,000 plus Philippines-born residents back in the 2011 census. This is likely higher now. Northern Ireland had about 3,700 Filipinos as of 2021. So yeah, Pinoys are truly spread out from London to Glasgow to Belfast. Now, let's talk about who makes up the Filipino community here. A large number work in healthcare, no surprises, so nurses, caregivers, and medical staff. But there are also many Filipinos in hospitality, education, and tech. According to the British Council, around 250,000 Filipinos are permanent residents in the UK. On top of that, there are about 70,000 who come here for shorter term contracts, like those working in care homes, ships, or service industries. That's a huge contribution to British society and the UK economy. Now, you might be wondering, how does the Filipino community compare to other ethnic minority groups in the UK? Well, the largest ethnic minority group in the UK is the Indian community. Around 1.9 million people identify as Indian in England and Wales alone. That's almost 8 times the size of the Filipino population. Indian migration started back in the 1940s and 1950s after World War II, when Britain needed workers for hospitals, factories, and public transport. Today, Indians are represented in nearly every sector, from medicine and IT to business and politics. The Filipino community, on the other hand, is newer and smaller. Migration mainly started in the 1970s, with nurses and healthcare workers coming to work for the NHS. Over the years, it has grown steadily, and today Filipinos are recognized especially for their role in healthcare and caregiving. So, while smaller in numbers, the Filipino community punches above its weight in terms of contribution, culture, and community presence. Now, let's zoom out again and compare the Filipino community to Indians and ethnic minority groups in the UK, such as the Chinese community. These two ethnic communities are often cited as the most successful ethnic minorities in the UK. Why? Let's break it down into these factors. 1. Education. Both Indian and Chinese families place a huge emphasis on education. High school and university achievements are prioritized, opening doors to professional careers and leadership roles. 2. Professional achievement. Many Indians and Chinese have strong representation in medicine, engineering, tech, law, and business. They often migrate with skills or create opportunities through entrepreneurship. 3. Economic mobility. Because of strong education and career focus, these communities tend to have higher incomes, home ownership, and long-term financial stability. So how does the Filipino community compare? Well, Filipinos are incredibly successful in healthcare and caregiving, but our community is smaller and more concentrated in certain sectors. This means there's a huge potential to diversify into more professions, education pathways, and entrepreneurial opportunities without losing our core strengths in healthcare. Here's the exciting part. What can our generation do to build on what's already strong so that our children and future generations thrive? 1. Invest in education. Prioritize degrees, certifications, and skills that open doors in high demand and high growth sectors, not just healthcare, but also tech, finance, law, and business. 2. Professional achievement. Seek mentorship, networking, and leadership opportunities. Don't be afraid to aim for management, executive, or entrepreneurial roles. 3. Economic mobility. Start saving, investing, or creating small businesses early. Build wealth, not just for yourself, but for the next generation. 4. Community support. Share knowledge, resources, and guidance within the Filipino community, from career advice to financial literacy. If we do these things, our community can match or exceed the success of other ethnic minority groups, while keeping the strong cultural bonds, care ethics, and resilience that make Filipinos unique. If you've ever been to a Filipino event here, a fiesta, a food market, or a karaoke night, you know how vibrant and close-knit the community is. There are Filipino associations, cultural groups, church choirs, and OFW networks all over the country. And of course, the love for adobo, lechon, and halo-halo is strong no matter what part of Britain you're in. So, to wrap it up, as of 2025, there are roughly a quarter to a third of a million Filipinos living in the UK, and our presence just keeps growing. Compared to other ethnic minorities like the Indian community, Filipinos are smaller in number but have made a huge impact, especially in healthcare and community life. If you're watching this from the UK, let me know in the comments where you're from. How long have you been here? And what do you love most about being a Filipino in Britain? Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories about the Filipino community around the world. See you in the next video.